budget battle in D.C. is trickling down to agencies all over the country, and now we're learning about funding cuts for a major energy project in the Twin Ports. Northern News Now's Natalie Hebner joins us in studio with more. Natalie?
Yeah, Dan, millions of federal funding for an ALLETE energy project is now gone. In 2023, the U.S. Department of Energy awarded $50 million to Minnesota Power. That funding was planned for Minnesota Power's high voltage direct connect system in Hermantown, or HVDC project. The infrastructure would transport wind energy from the Dakotas to Hermantown. It would be transformed into a different current, the type that households use. That project was planned to use $50 million in federal funding along with $15 million in state funding. In total, the project cost was $940 million, according to ALLETE officials. Yesterday, the U.S. Department of Energy announced the termination of more than 200 energy projects. They said the cancellation would result in $7.56 billion in savings for American taxpayers. Department officials went on to say that, quote, DOE determined that these projects did not adequately advance the nation's energy needs, were not economically viable, and would not provide a positive return on investment of taxpayer dollars. Northern News Now obtained the documents from the Department of Energy listing the projects terminated and included ALLETE's project. We reached out to Minnesota Power for their reaction on the termination. Leaders said they're aware of the DOE announcement, but haven't heard directly about the HVDC modernization project. In a statement, Minnesota Power officials said the $50 million federal grant makes up for a small portion of that $940 million effort that's under construction. They'll continue to advocate for keeping project costs for their customers as low as possible. They went on to say they will work with federal delegation to learn more and evaluate next steps, as they have 30 days to appeal the decision. Now, U.S. Senator Tina Smith reacted to the federal grant termination. She said it's not a coincidence President Trump only canceled grants in states that didn't support his presidential election. She goes on to say that his move is going to hurt every Minnesotan. Our local lawmakers also reacting to the funding termination, including DFL Senator Grant Hochschild of Hermantown. He said the decision from the federal government agency is deeply unethical.
If you look at the projects that were canceled, they are all in states that didn't vote for Donald Trump. That is a problem. It's showing that this is political retribution based on targeting states that didn't vote for this White House, and that is no way to operate as a country, and it's a shame for us, I think.
Now, Senator Hochschild also penned this letter to Congressman Stauber, asking him to publicly oppose the cancellation of these grants and push for congressional oversight on the legality of rescinding these grants in a politically selective way. Now, we also reached out to Stauber's team. Stauber saying, quote, after becoming aware of this potential funding cut, my staff immediately reached out to the Department of Energy for more information, and we will continue to monitor this situation closely. Now, Stauber went on to say that the situation could have been avoided if Senate Democrats did their job and voted to fund the government. In studio, Natalie Hebner, Northern News Now.